The Lord replied, my presence will go with you and will give you rest. Exodus 33 and verse 14. Hearing the voice of God. Look at it. Amongst the recorded servants of God who enjoyed having a conversational engagement with God is Moses. He enjoyed a very exclusive opportunity because the Bible says he was speaking, the Lord was speaking to Moses as a friend speaks with a friend. And here, the Lord replied. So meaning, the Lord is responding to Moses about an issue Moses had raised in verse 12 to verse 13. When the Lord speaks, he says, my presence will go with you and I will give you rest. Those two things are very important. Every time you shall hear the voice of God, that God has spoken to you, and you know you are not mixing that voice with the estranged sound or other voices, you know that is God. Always the voice of God carries the energy of the presence of God. Do you know why? Because the Bible says, I am looking at my word in Jeremiah 1 verse 12 to see that it is brought to accomplishment. And then he goes on to say with Isaiah that none of my words will return to me void. Isaiah 55. I will see to it that that word is accomplished. So the moment you hear God speaking, that voice itself is 100% guarantee that as long as that voice has not been withdrawn from you, the Lord is with you. And the easiest way of knowing that the Lord is with you is when he is speaking. Because he cannot speak to you as in an estranged relationship. When the voice of the Lord speaks, that voice is a guarantee to his active presence. Number two, and it will give you rest. Every time God will express himself, there is a form of comfort or a form of satisfaction. You enter into rest. You relax. You feel the burdens have been taken away from you. Come to me, all of you are heavily laden, Matthew 11 verse 28, and I'll give you rest. When God speaks, you will notice ancestral burdens, bloodline, life consequences, generational life, opaqueness, the burden and the weight of guilt and condemnation of your past. When the Lord speaks to you, that voice releases rest. You enter into a form of composure that the Lord has taken over. Can you look at verse 17? And the Lord said to Moses, I will do the very thing you have asked, because I am pleased with you and I know you by name. Again, when the voice of God speaks, the voice of God always positions you in the level of answered prayers. I will do the very thing you have asked. Every time the Lord will speak, you will notice that you enter into a realm where whatever you ask in a prayer, it is given you. Because if it doesn't happen so, it will be a sieve, a betrayal to that voice that spoke to you, because God cannot speak in absentia. So the voice of God elevates you to a level of experiencing answering of prayers by God. Then something else he's saying there is that because I am pleased with you. When God is speaking, it is a sign you are a delight in the eyes of the Lord. And if there is something in this world that should make you happy, is when you know you are a delight of the Lord. Because nobody can touch you. Because whoever touches you is as if is touching the apple of the eye of the Lord. And the Lord will do with them. That's why you noted Moses, nobody could touch him. Because the Lord was praised to the Moses. So when the voice of God speaks to you, that's what you hear when the voice was speaking to Jesus in the Jordan. The voice said, "In whom I am well pleased." And that is when you enjoy the favors of God. When the voice of God speaks, you notice the favor of God upon you becomes evidential and very clear. If you look at verse 21, I'm trying to summarize this text. Then the Lord said, there is a praise there and all that. Then I'll remove. Okay, the keyword here is the moment we hear the voice of God, everything else takes a new shift. Look at verse 19. And the Lord said, I will cause all my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Did you get that? When God is speaking, that voice of God transmits into the hearer the compassion system of God, the mercy system of God. That God is speaking to you. You even look at when he was speaking with Adam after they had fallen. When the Lord was speaking to them, his voice was containing mercy. That's why he gave them hope that the woman will bear a child that will crush the head of the serpent. And then he made them a garment of skin and clothed them. The moment the Lord will speak to you, the voice of God, even if he is speaking in the worst of his anger, but he is speaking always, God will always speak under influence of mercy. If he does not want his mercy to control him, he does not speak. He releases the judgment. But when he is speaking, his voice is containing the mercy, the compassion system of God. And then he says, I will cause my goodness to pass in front of you. When God is speaking, like right now I'm here, and God starts to speak, do you know what will happen? This place where I am will be filled with the goodness of the Lord. You will feel that sweetness, that enjoyment, that coolness. Every time the Lord is speaking, your whole life system is injected and is diffused with the goodness of the Lord. That is when you start seeing people they start now declaring testimonies and miracles. The deeds of God start to happen. Let God speak. And he's saying, and I'll proclaim my name for the Lord in your presence. When the Lord speaks, the name of the Lord becomes clear to you in form of its virtues, its powers, and its characteritude. I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. Why can't he just say, my name is Lord? He's saying, I will proclaim. So when the voice of the Lord is speaking, the name of the Lord becomes clear to you in terms of its contents. It is a strong tower. That name commands bowing by every forces in heaven, earth, and underneath. The voice of God makes the name of the Lord become practical. The name of the Lord can no longer be defied by demons in your life, in your application. How did Moses position himself for him to hear the voice of God? There are two things. Number one, his name. The Lord is telling Moses, I know you by your name. You need to look into your name, the name you're called. Number two is standing on a rock, verse 21. There is a place near before me where you may stand on a rock. Standing on a rock. Those two things. The name you're called and standing on a rock.